All right, relegation.
Yeah.
Was it 17th last season? Yeah. You ever seen Arsenal in 17th? Ever?
Even a trophy. So even a trophy though. But all right,
yeah, cool. But you were cussing the man who won you that trophy, so you can't really say that.
Because I wanted him out. And funny enough, look at Forest now. Exactly what I said. You know,
he's been there two. He's had one home game. You know.
You know,
he's had one home game.
I should change my prediction. I really believe Forest can go down if they keep Angel season. It can happen. It can happen. I'm telling you.
It can happen.
Do you know what? I hope they trash Tottenham when they play you. I hope it's at your stadium as well. I hope they trash you. That would be so funny. And you know he's gonna put extra effort into that particular game.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my god, of course he is.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what effort he puts into it because he has no tactics. It's the same thing with him every week. So
that's true. Yeah. That's true. Him and Ruben Amorim, innit? One way of playing. That's it.
Yep. One trick ponies, boy. Elite managers are supposed to be elite managers. Right.
Trust me. Right, we'll be. We don't gas the badge. Welcome back. We'll be back right after this. Yes, welcome back, everyone. Back to Don't Gas the Badge. Another week, another pod, another interview. Just gonna welcome JD, my co-host, back. What are you saying, brother? You good?
Good, man. I'm good, man. How's it going there, man?
Yeah, all good as usual, man. You know it is. And we've got Beefy with us as well. What's going on, Beefy?
All good, man. All good.
Yes, bro.
Appreciate you having me still.
Yeah, welcome, brother, man. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you don't know, Beefy's part of another podcast that I appear on sometimes called Don't Trip. So big up all the Don't Trip people. It's good to have you come across and do something with us, and you know, we vice versa when I go over there as well. So if you ain't watched Don't Trip, go in. Great football insight there. You know, they cover different topics each week. They're on every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Don't Trip. Look out for it. So yeah, we got Beefy on because you're in a unique situation like a lot of our guests, and you're the father of an academy player, I believe.
Yeah,
I didn't catch your son's name, by the way. Sorry, your son's name is
Shay.
Yeah. And he's at QPR under 10s.
Yeah, he is 10s now. He's under 10s.
S what? Sorry,
SHAE. Because a lot of people spell it so weird.
Okay. I actually thought you said Shane.
Nah,
okay.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, big up Shay anyway, man. Big up Shay, man.
Yeah, man.
You know,
man.
And all the best to him, man. All the best to him.
You know?
Yeah, man. Exactly.
He's in under 10s at QPR, right?
Yes, yeah. So he's done his
sorry to digress, man, but I used to go to school with a guy, and I met him a month or two back. I think he's at QPR as well. I don't know if it's the same age group though. Kirk, you familiar with that? You familiar with him, Kirk? Lightskin brother from West London.
From
might
West
be a different
London.
age group. Yeah, might be different age boys from West London.
Yeah, it's the same guy I'm thinking of.
Kind of short, brother. He's kind of
short.
Kind of
might be. He's from West, and I think it's the same guy.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Speaking of people you actually know Steve as well, who we had on a couple of weeks back, didn't you?
Yes, man. Me and Steve were coming into contact, but both of our sons were at Arsenal. That's before they got signed, so they were been in the development. Obviously looking at signing, but he's played with Harvey, and they've come in contact, and we actually played Palace a few weeks back, so I got to see Steve as well. So yeah, man. We always link up somehow. The football world is very.
You probably. I don't know if you knew, but you might even have bumped into my brother there because obviously my nephew's at Palace, isn't he?
Okay.
Same age group as well.
Is Isaac under 10 as well?
He is, but he does play up as well quite a lot.
You know,
he does play up quite a lot as well.
I don't know if he's got your brother's genes, but he just seems tall like for under 10 as well, man. I don't know.
He probably will. He probably will, man. Yeah, that's good. We've got a good little football community going on here because I know JD, you got sons in football as well. We will, by the way, do an episode on that at some point. To talk about your son's current journey as well. You got two sons both playing football. So you sent a video in the group chat the other day of a banging goal. So yeah, man, them two are doing their thing as well. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I know I wanted to ask you about Shay anyway. Tell us a little bit about him and like where his passion for football comes from, and I'm interested in what sort of position he plays in and what players maybe he enjoys watching at the moment as well.
Yeah, so he started quite young, to be fair. I think he was messing around with his uncles, just playing in gardens with his cousins from when he was like 4. So he was, like he can barely kick it, but you can kind of see there was some kind of coordination there. But yeah, he's been just kicking the ball from early, and that's not even us pushing it. It was just something he used to do. So obviously, by the time we got to 5 now, we're looking at it and thinking, okay, there's something there, kind of thing. And that's when we took him to the first sort of grassroots, which was for us was Harefield. It was a local team that I played for, team that I managed as well at one point. So yeah, we went there and we just put him in the floor, just go and just enjoy yourself. But when you're looking at you and you're thinking, and that's one thing I don't do. I know the shows don't gas, but I don't gas my youth. I don't gas you. I don't. I'm the bearer of bad news all the time. You know what I mean? There could be that one pass or that one this or that one shot where you could have had, or you know what I mean, you bullied off the ball or whatever. So, but yeah, so in that little session he had, all little boys, all the same age, all 5 years old, and it was, I'm seeing they're all shooting at goal, but the ball's just rolling on the floor. My son was picking up the ball and hitting corners, and I'm saying literally looking up and trying to and aiming for corners. And I'm thinking, that's when it sort of just dawned on me, and I was like, wow, this is mad. Like, he's actually elevating with the ball. And even when the coach, after that first session, the coach said to me, he said, you're gonna come and you're gonna come and get involved and blah blah blah. So that's how the whole football started for us, man. And basically, yeah, just went in there early doors, and I could see there was something there, but never knew it would come to fruition. You know what I mean? Just go out there for the love and enjoyment. So
what positions he plays? He's centre forward.
So, I this is a massive cliche. He can play anywhere, right? But it really is a cliche. Obviously, when I had him at under 6, under 7, because I managed a team, you know what it's like. There ain't enough coaches in the game, so I did my little level 1, done my little first aid, blah blah blah. So, yeah, I generally when we started off, I'd play him wide. So we'd play obviously like a diamond. So 1 centre back, so goalkeeper, 1 centre back, 2 wide, 1 up front. Quite simple. It's 5-a-side, so it's calm. So I'd play him either side, and that's I suppose when he kind of critiqued his playing more with his left foot. It was just formulas that he just put together for himself, and I thought at this young age, you shouldn't even be thinking of having those thoughts. But he was talking, and we was talking one day, and he said, "Dad, I need to use my left foot more." And I said, "Well, try it, innit?" And yeah, slowly but surely, as he was doing that in the grassroots settings, so I'm playing wide or playing up front, and that's when scouts started to come, because they were saying, "Wow, this kid, he could use both his feet." He had a very good brain for football as well. He could just see. I don't know. For me, I was the kind of player that I'm just going out and enjoying it, but I was a defender in it. I like to go in for a tackle. When I see rain falling, I'm thinking, yes, it's my day. I'm going in for some slide tackles. I'm going to clean up. But he's got this football brain in there somewhere, which he has just developed naturally. So yeah, from an early age, you could see he was seeing different pictures. He was trying to slot man, and he was whipping the ball, and it was actually aiming for people and hitting them. And I was like, yeah. So it's crazy, but it's good to see. It's really good to see.
What sort of players does he like? Like, what's his type of player that he likes to watch?
So,
and does he base his game on anyone in particular, or is he doing his own thing really?
Nah, I mean, don't get me wrong. When Bellingham really busted, he was really on the Bellingham hype. But Vinicius, he likes players going 1v1 and them kind of things. But I say those are probably the three players that he would go is Bellingham, Vinicius, Mbappe. Those are the ones he used to always ball out for their names all the time, kind of thing. But yeah, he doesn't emulate himself on anyone. He just says, "Dad, I'm just going to do what I'm doing." Take pieces, as I say, always take pieces of what their game, but you don't have to emulate yourself on anyone.
Just a couple of messages, Steve. There, my guy,
Steve.
Beefy. Yes, Steve. Big up, my friend.
What's up, Steve? Man? Big up, man. Big up yourself, man.
Tiny, sorry, JD. Sorry, JD. Just a quick one. Just one more message there from Tiny there. Blessings, Kings, Buckstar, JD, Beefy. Big up, Tiny.
Yes,
thanks for the comments. Sorry, JD. Go on, man.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask so with your son, like, would you say most of it's like natural ability or like good coaching, or like what do you think is really benefit your son?
Yeah, definitely natural, because as I said, as time started to move, like I said, from 6 to 7, I was seeing a lot of parents doing this private one-to-one coaching. I was like, huh? But for me, it was like I never fathomed it. I never thought about it, because I thought this kid is just growing. He's doing his thing, and he was producing. For me, he was producing enough at his age and showing that he had natural talent. That's why, for me, I didn't pursue any outside work. But other people were doing it. And I was thinking, wow. I'm seeing people going do one-to-ones and this and that. But I was thinking, no, I don't need to do that. But you start to realize that everyone's leveling up. Leveling up in terms of their child leveling up. And they're gaining more time on the pitch. So yeah, I think he generally had natural ability, personally.
Okay, I hear that, but you see the natural ability thing though. Like, do you not think that with his natural ability, like some one-to-one coaching would probably help him, like with the ball mastery and these kind of things? Though?
I think I started to realize that as time went on, because there was a period of probably a good year where I said I just totally avoid it. It's the same with people having their kids having Instagrams. For me, it wasn't. I didn't think that he needed to have that. I don't think he needed to have one-to-ones, but I just generally just went with it. And I thought, well, let's see where you are. Because no matter what happens, I always say this with kids. Some kids fly off really quickly, and some, and then they hit a bar. And these other kids just slowly but surely catch up. Being in the football environment, you see that all the time. So a lot of kids will burst on the scene. They'll look crazy. They look like the new Zidane. And then all of a sudden, these other kids just come along slowly. They creep up the ladder. And eventually, they all meet in the middle somewhere. Don't get me wrong. Natural talent is natural talent. You're going to be good or you're going to be good. But, people work at stuff and you can eventually just catch them up as you go along.
Okay.
But,
so, sorry. Yeah, no, so I want to, sorry to, like, keep going on here.
Cool.
But, sorry. We had Steve on a couple of weeks ago, and he said that grassroots offers a lot more in certain aspects of development. So, what's your experience of grassroots football, and what do you think of the pros and cons? Versus academy football.
I think it's just the freedom to play. I'll be honest, the freedom to play. Don't get me wrong. You can always find a good coach, or you're a good dad is being a coach. I just find, and I don't know it's the same for everybody, but I feel my child in the environment he's in now, he knows he's signed, he knows he's in the door. I always revert back. I always tell him to revert back to when you was playing with freedom, and it was just full enjoyment. I think, not saying he doesn't enjoy it, because clearly the game he loves the game so much. But I feel he doesn't want to disappoint anyone. He doesn't want to disappoint the coaches. He doesn't want to disappoint the club, essentially, because he now knows he's wearing that badge. So it wasn't before. Don't get me wrong. He was still doing his thing, but I found that it was more freedom, just to go and just enjoy. It was total freedom. Whereas now it's all, everything's structured. 3 training sessions a week. match on a Sunday, you build up to the games, and yeah, I would just say.
Do you feel there's less pressure then? Because there has to be a bit of pressure in an academy, and with kids, they need to enjoy it, don't they?
Yeah. 100%. I would say there's definitely, because you know that Spurs are coming to your door, Arsenal coming to your door, that Chelsea's coming to your door. Do you know what I mean? So you automatically have to be either okay, I need to level up, I need to be on smoke, But I will say to him, Mum, look, you're young, you're going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter what environment you're in. You're only 10 years old. So regardless of what happens now, try a step over. I don't care if you try a step over, try a flip flap. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? Oh, Dad, I can't do that because if I do make a mistake, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry about that. Just because you're signed doesn't mean you cannot. You're there to, to get yourself to a point where you feel comfortable and you learn from the coaches and get on with it. So yeah, don't have to be too structured, but I think that's how that environment brings you structure.
Yeah.
So another follow-up question there. So when you're deciding, where your son would play, were there other clubs interested in signing him? Was it just QPR, or what made you choose QPR?
Yeah, so it's two sides to that. So yeah, Arsenal kept us, and I think I don't know if Steve brought this to the table, but I feel like a lot of the bigger clubs have this holding pen, right? So they keep telling you, invite you down, we'll extend this. You say it's not even a contract. You're basically saying, look, keep coming down. There's potential in your son. We like the look of him, but there's no guarantees to that. People, QPR put something out there. They kind of steered us in that direction, and they said to us, we feel he could come here and do a good job. But Arsenal were the only other team. So at a really young age, when he was about 6, 7, and then Chelsea came back and said, nah. He said we got to about 2. No, we probably was there for about a year, and then they turned around and said, well, he hasn't got that dynamic pace. I said, okay, fair enough, it's cool. I've never told him this, and I hope he don't watch this because we told him a different story. Because I didn't want to burn. It didn't make no difference. But yeah, we had
at that age. They're looking at his pace at that age.
Yeah, at that age, that was the reason they said they didn't want to go any further with us, and because he didn't have that dynamic pace. And I was like, okay, but he's got everything else, though, right? And they were like, yeah, definitely. I said, all right, cool. So if you're gonna dog him on that, then that's how it is. But going back to your question, JD, it was literally at the last transfer window, it was Arsenal and QPR. I chose QPR. 1, we support them, and 2, it's 20 minutes from my yard, the actual training ground. So I can't go wrong. I can't be late. 3 times a week, it's a no-brainer. For us, it's a double bubble win.
The training ground, ain't that somewhere out like is it like Staines way, like around somewhere around there? No,
it's in Heston. It's in Heston. Okay. We live in Uxbridge, so Heston to Uxbridge ain't far.
Okay.
It's not far.
Okay.
So do you reckon then that football league academies, and I don't know what QPR falls under, I have no idea, but do you feel like those type of clubs, football league clubs, will offer him a better route into the first team if he ends up staying with QPR? And did that come into your thinking at all? Because sometimes you look at a lot of these big clubs and they do have a lot of young players, but not all of them come through and get first team opportunities. Whereas at a club like QPR, you'd feel that you probably would get more. They maybe rely on youth a little bit more. Was that in your thinking as well?
That was definitely in my thought process. So we know, as I said, the 2015 year, the crop of boys that are out there is ridiculous. I'll be straight. I've been to many tournaments, been all over the place, all over the Europe and that, and you've seen that crop that year. Just, I don't know if they had a mad boom, but there was a lot of boys, and the clubs generally had it was easy pickings for a lot of the clubs. So, the Arsenals have got 2 teams, probably virtually nearly 3. You got Chelsea, 2, nearly 3 in his age group. You've got Spurs, 2, nearly 3. In terms of, you're talking about a squad of 7 or 8, and you can nearly field 3 teams. It's mad. So for us, and as we've been going to the games, we got season tickets, so we used to go to QPR obviously regularly, and we saw that they were weaning through a lot of the youngsters, and that was a definite telltale factor for me, because it meant that his pathway, regardless, all right, we're only talking about 10 years old now, but I feel that his pathway would be more clearer. We don't know what his pathway is going to be. He could be playing no league for all I know. But essentially, that was another way of looking at things.
Yeah, that does make sense to me.
I just think the bigger clubs are you're pretty much a number, you're not anything else. If I'm honest.
I'm gonna just ask you a little bit of a different question, moving on to a slightly different subject now. I more want to talk. We've covered a lot about your son, which is great. Yeah. I want to know from you though, like, what's your biggest challenge being as a parent on your son's football journey so far?
So far, it's a good one.
There's a lot of sacrifice there, so it's probably hard to say.
I mean that could be only the only thing. I'll be honest. The sacrifice that when he started off, we were. And this is another thing. We're gonna go back and forth, but it took me a long time to understand. For that first year, you get so gassed by all these clubs, right? You get totally gassed by them, and it's like we had Arsenal, Chelsea, Fulham, Tottenham. I'm having to count, sorry, because I was literally out more or less 4 days a week, having to speak to work, say, listen, I've got to go. And some of these places you're having to go there for 5 o'clock. Luton Town we went to. We went to everywhere. And I think at that beginning stage, when it's pre-academy stage, you get so gassed by the clubs instead of just, and I'll say this to most parents, just go and watch your son play. When he's in that environment, go and watch how he plays, because it's your son or daughter will show you clear direction. And if they're enjoying that environment they're in. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I looked at my son when he was at Spurs, and the environment he was in, he wasn't happy. It took us a while to understand. But for whatever reason, whether he felt inferior, maybe he felt like it was a bit of a culture and he didn't like the coaches, I don't know. But I found that where he was in that environment, it didn't suit him. Whereas he went to other places and he balled out, like literally balled out. So yeah, it's the massive sacrifice. I was out maybe 4 days a week. You get 1 day off. Then I was doing the grassroots on a Sunday. You know what I mean? So yeah, the sacrifice is massive.
So that's interesting there. What you're saying, like watch your child play, because maybe that doesn't come into a lot of people's thinking, a lot of parents thinking, when they're just thinking about, okay, this is a big opportunity, we don't want to waste it, let's kind of go for this one, and actually going somewhere else might be more beneficial for your child's development.
100%.
Okay,
100%.
That's interesting.
So, is there anything that you found out that you weren't aware of before, or anything that you think is important that parents in a similar situation should know?
Going back to that point straight away, watch your child and see how the environment is affecting them, or how it's pushing them, because you can see if you know your son or your daughter and they're playing at a certain level, and you know they're at that level, and you see them sort of sometimes dipping below that level, or even, you know your child. I just think you just watch them and see, but also, just there's nothing else. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've noticed differently since I've been in the environment. And I wasn't ready for the whole traveling thing, because that's a lot. Don't get me wrong. You have to jump in the whip and you're driving. It's not all sunshine.
How does that traveling affect your son's game? Does that affect? Because if you're doing all the traveling, he's doing all the traveling as well.
Yeah.
And some kids might not have as far to go. As you say, one of the reasons was location for you for QPR.
Yeah.
Do you think that those journeys affect kids in terms of how they perform when they're there as well?
I know from parents I've spoken to that they have had issues, especially when they're having to travel for training, which I don't. My journey is 20 minutes, 25 minutes max. So I don't really have that. But going to games, I don't feel it's really affecting him as much. Because if we know it's going to be anything over 2 hours, I would try and book a hotel, stay the night before, which again, this costs. But anything over a certain time frame of driving, I would try to facilitate that. But you don't think of these things. You know what I mean? You don't fathom that. The boots that you're having to buy. I mean, he's not one of these youths saying, "Oh yeah, need the best of this." He was humble with whatever he's got, but yeah, you want them to have what they need. Tools for the trade.
I ain't gonna lie. Personally, I stuck up on boots, man. Like, obviously, I know their sizes, but I've got them boots like 2 sizes up and a size up because they're just waiting to be worn. Because
I hear you.
It's not like spending mad money on boots. But like when I see them like half price in like a Sports Direct or that Pro Soccer Direct and I just cut them straight away. Like, listen, man, my son, I got him a pair of boots for a tenner, £10, like, but nice boots though, like pair of Adidas. You know what I'm saying? Other brands are available, but a nice pair of Adidas boots, like like for a tenner with his initials on them, right? No brainer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. But you're doing the right thing because, like you said, just park them up. When he reached that size, you say, "Bro, I got your new set. Run that."
That's the other thing that, again, it might not be what you're kind of planning ahead, probably because of having to replace boots and stuff like that. But you don't think about the equipment side.
Nope.
And that's in any sport your child does. Any sport. I know my son does jiu-jitsu, and when I had to buy him a new gi, it was like the price, man. It's crazy, like, you know what I mean? It's, you don't think about these things, so maybe that's a good idea for people, man. If you see a deal, stock up because they're gonna get used at something.
But I'll tell you what, I was just gonna say the wickedest one is, so obviously the top I would say the top 4 clubs: Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs. Bro, they're getting trainers, they're getting boots, they get shin pads, so they're nice. But anything lower than that, bro, you're not getting that. You're not getting
call them shin pads. I've seen them. JD was showing me the shin pads. Is somewhere. You see how they are now? They're tiny.
But the thing is, though, listen, they don't want to wear nothing else. Like, they don't want to wear actual shin pads that we like back in the day that we used to wear.
Listen, the ones that we used to wear were like socks.
Back when people used to wear metal studs.
With the elastic on the bottom.
I'm just gonna ask you a question that I asked Steve.
Yeah.
And obviously, everyone's got their own experience and their own opinion, so there's no right or wrong answer to this, really. But in your opinion, what would you say is a good age for a parent to be thinking about maybe signing their child to an academy? And would you say that staying in grassroots football for maybe a little bit longer would be more beneficial?
I would say there is no harm in it. There is no harm in staying in longer. But can I say that now? I think I can't deny them. I can't deny my son the opportunities. He gets to go to the best training grounds. And I said not as much for us as much for him. We go into these places, environments as a family that we would never go. We would never get invited to. We would never go. So our experience at this age now, where he can fully take it in and go to places where he might even see a first team baller. Like, he might even just come across one that just walks past him along the corridor. Like, you can't replace those. Can't replace that feeling and the memories that will be there for years. But I think, yes, as long as you're consistent in your game, I think staying in grassroots would be an ideal. What age to jump into it? probably when you get to high school, so probably 12, 13. If I had the opportunity, I think now it's a lot for them youths. I'll be honest, but and that's what I spoke about being, you have to maintain yourself, and you're a young child. You should be just enjoying the game. You shouldn't have to be so structured. But I feel that they try to make it fun, but ultimately it is very structured in what you have to do. So longer in the grassroots as possible, I think. But when you get to high school, because that's when you start figuring yourself out, really.
So being your son's at the academy, like he's not allowed to play grassroots now, is he?
No. So some clubs do though. You see, like the Brentfords of the world, they allow you to do that. They allow you to continue playing grassroots football alongside your academy stuff.
Yeah, like see, the thing is, like, sorry, like, my son, he's played against like a couple of like academy teams and that, like, and when you go to the facilities, you're just like, wow, like, I mean, the pitches are immaculate, like the training rooms are clean, everything is just like pristine. So I'm thinking, like, maybe these academy boys, because like we know that every at the end of every season, academies drop some players and they bring new players in. You know? Course. So these players that have been at these academies, like going back to grassroots might be a struggle for some of them. You know what I'm saying?
I think so, because that's where your fundamentals come from, the grassroots. So I would feel they would revert it back. It's either you stand tall and you maintain that academy head, or you just sink to their level, which sometimes is not a bad level, because there's a lot of boys in grassroots that are still kicking some decent ball, like proper decent ball. So yeah, it's a catch-22. But as you said, JD, man, going to some of these places, man, it opens your eyes and you go, wow. Wow, carpet, literally carpet.
Yeah.
So if I was to say to you, what's the one piece of advice you'd like to leave every parent with, if they obviously tuned in and watched this pod, what would you leave them with? What would you say?
Be ready be ready for travel. Be ready to make sure you got that paper, because you're gonna have to travel and you're gonna have to find money for travel, for obviously if you're not one of the elite, I call it elite groups, you're gonna have to pay for boots and all the rest of it. But just don't get gassed by the badge. Do not get gassed by the badge. That's the club that you're gonna go to. Just go in there with an open mind, and as I said, I always revert back to it. Watch your child and see how they perform. If they start excelling, then that's maybe the club that you want to be, putting more eggs in one basket. Because I'll tell you now, once one club gets to know about you, son, there's other clubs going to start reaching out. And they do. It's like leeches, bro. They just come out of nowhere. All of a sudden, they start saying, oh, yeah, heard about your son. No. Okay. Next minute, here's my card. Can you come down and pop down and come and see us? Okay.
As we know, once you're signed, though, there's the whole compensation thing, though, isn't there?
Oh well,
so that's again another reason. This
listen,
is what
I gained knowledge off of Steve, boy, because I didn't know all those figures. So I gained some knowledge.
Sorry, Beefy, there you go, man. If anyone's watching, that's what you tell people. You see, we got a guest on. Not from me, not from JD, but I watched our pod and he learned something himself, and he's already got a kid in the academy. So don't miss out episodes, man. You never know what you're gonna miss.
You never know what you're gonna get. It's the truth, though. It's the truth.
And I just was wondering, how hard are you on your son? Are you a tough dad, or are you more of an arm around the shoulder type of in terms of the way you coach him?
He's quite an emotional kid, but no. Especially at grassroots level, Jesus. I had parents coming and saying to me, is the culture right? Why is he shouting at you? I would give, only because he was my kid, I'd give it him more to alleviate the others. Do you understand? Only because I knew he could do better. And not only that, I've got to give it to him hard, because that's the way things have got to be. But as time's gone on, I now let him process everything for himself, because he's at an age now. I said, you got to go through the pitfalls on your own. I'll give him the pep talk before in the morning, and I'll give him 5 good, 5 bad. That's all I do with him. 5
Obviously,
good.
You're a qualified coach, right? So
yeah.
How do you find that balance between what you're telling him and then what his coaches in the academy are? Because there has to be a balance, really, doesn't there?
And that's what I'll be honest. This is why this year I just don't say anything, because what I see and what they are asking him to do are 2 different things. Whereas last year when he was under 9s, I'm saying to him inside the pitch, bro, beat him, go 1v1. But they obviously asking him to pop the ball off. Pop, receive. And I'm saying, bruv, whip it down the side, beat him, man. So I was giving him 2 different. He's telling one thing, I'm telling another. So I said, this year, let's keep that sharp. Let the go through the process.
Do you think, sorry, just quickly, I was going to ask you, do you think it's because they've already seen that from him? Now they want to see something else. And it's like, okay, we know you can do that. Yeah. Well, let's see if you can do this as well.
Correct. More than likely. But
to be honest with you, no, sorry, I was gonna say there's one thing I find frustrating, because like my younger son, like he's in the pre-academy thing, and you see what kind of frustrates me is that at this pre-academy, like they're always like, you know, they want the players to focus on dribbling, like not passing, like, you know, just like, you know, hogging the ball. But then these kids take that into their game. So like he plays with like a couple of the boys in his team that are all like pre-academy. And you just see them like, you know, like they're trying to beat everyone. You got a man standing right there to your left. All you got to do is just lay the ball off to him. It's a goal. And these boys all the time, they're just doing this. Like, and I find it frustrating, man. But you know, I don't know. That's just me.
No, JD, I'm with you. It's probably one of the bits I should have put in there. But I think they do it because they want to see the boys be on the ball more. But for me, learning the game. Football is about passing and moving. So when you're asking them to just run with the ball, beat everyone, I'm thinking, how is that? On the side, I'll be on the side and I'll just going nuts. Like literally going, thinking, what? These are qualified coaches. What are you telling my child to do? But I think that's basically what I want them to do.
Yeah, but in a contrast to that now, like with my older son's grassroots team, his coach basically wants the boys to try and take as minimal touches as possible. Obviously, like if you could beat your man. But he wants you to like really like get the ball, like obviously have the ball under control and try and like, you know, pass it to a player within like 3 touches. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're passing the ball and moving. So me personally, I think that's more beneficial to the game because you're letting the ball do the work as opposed to trying to run for a whole team and beat it. Well, like obviously, if you've got the ability to beat a couple players and do something, then do it. But don't try and do it every time. I mean, that's just me, you
know. You got two ends of the spectrum there. Beat everybody and have 3 touches.
Yeah, but so what I'm seeing is like grassroots, like it's like more beneficial and like, you know, like more beneficial to the game and like, you know, in terms of the development as a player. Yeah, I mean, just what
I agree. I do agree. If I could stay because I had to come away from being a coach, grassroots, because obviously it take up all my time. But respectfully, I would go back again because I enjoyed it so much. That's why I got my buzz out of that. Trust me, didn't need no alcohol, didn't need nothing. That was more than enough.
Just a couple of comments we've got here. So Tiny's back on. Definitely the experiences for the youth must be priceless at Academy. Absolutely. Yeah. Money off his spend, you know. Hey, it's meant to be make, not spend, bro. That's the ain't that your track?
Yeah.
Okay.
First. Yeah.
Dan Carlard. Some eye-opening education. Start again. Some eye-opening education right here that I never knew. Great for parents whose kids are on a path. Enjoying listening to stuff I didn't know. Absolutely, man. Thanks for your comments, and I just want to say, like, it's football's a journey, and from what we're hearing from parents, it's you need to understand first your child's game, understand where they're comfortable, understand that you are still the parent, and coaches need to coach, and read up on the rules, know what you're doing and know what you're getting into, because these things are binding. These are contracts a lot of the time when you say so. It's good to kind of get that education before making decisions that can then impact your child. So Beefy, I just want to say thank you for coming on, because this has been another great pod. I think we've learned a lot today as well. I definitely would love to get you back on at some point as well, so we'll talk. And I will definitely see you on Don't Trip as well anyway. But thanks a lot for coming on, Beefy, man. Appreciate it.
Love,
yeah, 100%, man. Big up,
best
man.
of luck to Shay as well, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, boys.
Just want to say thanks, JD, my co-host as well, for being on again. And we're definitely going to do one on your kids' journey as well at some point. We'll talk about that separately, but it has to happen. But yeah, listen, this is a journey for us as well. We're learning all the time. So yeah, just thanks again, and thanks to all the guests we've had on. Thanks for all the comments. Please remember to like, remember to subscribe as well. We'll be back on Thursday with the Don't Gas podcast, where we kind of decode UK street culture. We'll be going into that. That's on Thursday. And me and JD will be back next Tuesday with another Don't Gas the Badge, where we may have another special guest on, which we'll tell you about. Keep a lookout for the promos during the week. Peace, everyone.
Yes.